My name is Mike Craven. I live down in Gillsville, Georgia. I've lived there all my life, and I'm ninth generation potter. Been making pottery. Next year will be 52 years for a living. Always been around pottery. One of my uncles had a pottery shop, and I'd go to when I was just a child and get clay and take home and play with and mess up mother's house, doing a little sculpting and things like that.
Do you remember the first piece you made?
Yes, I was working at Huell's Pottery at the time and doing wedging clay and mixing clay and taking pots in out of the kiln, helping. And after work or sometime on break or lunch or something, I'd play on the wheel. And I made a little face jug and a birdhouse and just, some really sloppy pieces, but I was interested. And then my brother, when he opened his shop in '71, I got serious and became a production potter in gardenware. And in later years, I went on to do the folk art line, face jugs and that type of stuff.
Can you tell me about your favorite piece you've ever made, or if there are a few, just kind of describe them?
Well, I have made some fish pictures. The picture itself, the sculpting of the fish is on the side and its mouth. The liquid pours out through the mouth. I lift the scales on that fish with the drinking straw, one scale at a time, and then I color him up to look like a big mouth bass. And I'm right proud of that piece.
Could you just tell me a little bit about the folk pottery community in the area?
Well, Gillsville has had pottery places for years, anywhere from 2 to 8 pottery places operating at one time. There was a good vein of clay ran through the area, and so a lot of them settled there. And the utilitarian use of pottery was what was the big thing years ago. And I think the potters back then, after a day's work, just wanted to play with the clay and see what they could do. They'd make an ugly face or something like that just to play with. And my brother has a jug that Pat Ferguson, W.P. Ferguson made, Stanley Ferguson's grandfather. Sat on my grandmother's buffet in her hallway, and every time I'd spend the night with her, I had to walk by that old face jug, and I was scared to death of that thing. Pat made it for my grandpa to take water to the field while he was plowing the mule. But that was my first and hated, face jugs then as a child, not knowing, what it was worth at the time. But anyway, I've been around the folk art a lot in the last 20 years.
We just wanted to thank you for letting us highlight you here in the museum and hope that it's been an enjoyable experience for you.
Well, I am honored to be recognized in the folk art world. Dr. Burrison, I'm real good friends with him. I hope he considers me a friend. He has introduced me to a lot of different places. We went together a few years ago out to the International Folk Art Museum, and I did a interview, and I did some pottery farm, and was honored to be there. And so I appreciate what this Folk Art Museum has done. Y'all have done a good job, I feel, and the work y'all display is great, and the way you have it displayed. And I appreciate everything you have done.
Thank you.